Philadelphia. Yeah, Philadelphia freedom. We're going back to the city of brotherly love for the first time since 1980. There was a double header there back in 1980, and we're going back, man. Lincoln Financial Field is the site. The third last round of the Monster Energy Supercross Series coming up, and 5-point lead for the Jet Lawrence. And lots to talk about today, 702-586-7857. Give us a call. We're giving away a set of 100% goggles as well as some pivot knee guards from Fly Racing. So thank you for those guys for donating that for the prizes for you callers. 702-586-PULP. Give us a call. Let's talk Philly. Let's talk whatever you want. Zach Osborne, Daniel Blair. Coming up here on the show, thank you to Fly Racing. 25 years of Fly Racing. The Kinetic helmet has been redesigned, redone, and that is out for sale now. And the Kinetic helmet they sell a ton of, so please check it out. Formula helmet, the next level helmet from the guys at Formula, or from Fly Racing, is the Formula helmet, and super safe, super quiet. Really, really good-looking helmet as well. Please check it out. The Formula helmet is the result of years and years of R&D by the guys at Fly Racing. Come from Rheon Technology. Read up all about it on flyracing.com. And the gear as well. RJ Hampshire, your points leader. 250 Supercross West wearing Fly Racing out there. So thank you to the folks at Fly Racing. Decal Works, 100%. Get Plum Creek Funding, Vertex Pistons, Maxxis Tires, Zools, Seat Concepts, all on board with us. The codes to save with Zools, with Seat Concepts, with Decal Works, with 100%, with Get are all available on the pulpmexshow.com under sponsored deals. So, yeah, you want to save with these companies. You're looking for a seat. You're looking for a gear bag or a bag. You're looking for a CDI or ECU, sticker kit for your bike, all that stuff. Go to pulpmexshow.com and use the code to save with those guys. So thank you to those companies for coming on board with us. I'll tell you more about them later on. But taking your phone calls over there, holding things down in the corner. He's back from Hawaii. The Tis Legendary.
Glad to be back, Mr. Mathis. Thank you.
What's the next trip?
Memorial Day, Newport.
What's Memorial Day? Is that May?
Yeah, end of May.
Okay, so next month.
Yeah.
Okay.
Next
right.
month.
Yeah, all right. So, well.
Long month.
Yeah, hang in there, buddy.
Yeah,
hang in there.
Month. I don't know what I'm going to do.
Right. We are all praying for you to get through this.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
702-586-7857. Working the cameras, working the angles. We got both guys in today. That's amazing. The Travis Marks. Hi, Marks.
Hello.
What's going on?
I'm very happy to be here.
Are you really?
Yes.
You sound like a hostage situation.
I got my Red Bull. We're good. See, I walk into your house, I go straight to the fridge, I grab a Red Bull, and suddenly I'm more happy.
Which Red Bull are you drinking today?
Just the original, OG.
Oh, the OG.
Yeah.
Okay. We don't want the watermelon or coconut?
I partake in all of them. I'm not biased at all. So this was just what was on the top shelf.
Okay. All right. Do I need to stock the fridge with more for your next visit?
I replace as I take.
Oh.
I keep it stocked aplenty. Don't you worry.
Thank you. Please give us a call if you can, 702-586-7857. Got a few lines open still. Zach Osborne coming right up here. Decal Works, PulpMex24 is the code to save with Decal Works. Official graphics of the Red Bull KTM team, Husqvarna Off-Road as well. Ron, Sean, and the boys there in Illinois doing God's work for graphics, man. They do a great job. Put your stickers where they put their sponsors where they want to. They put your numbers, name on it, and retro kits, all of that. DecalMX.com for more information. Chris Kiefer uses these guys as well, and they do good jobs, man. Great work for those guys in getting all the logos right and getting your bike looking the best that it possibly can. And thank you to the folks at Plum Creek Funding as well. Whether you have a home that you're looking to pull cash out, if you're looking to purchase a home, rates have dropped a little bit. Now is the time. If you got a vacation home, like Mark's, if you already own a home, all of that, contact Zach Morris, 720-212-4685, Z-A-C-H, at plumcreekfunding.com. He's done a lot of work with people in the industry as far as mortgages and refis and things like that. So he does a good job. So please check it out, Zach at plumcreekfunding.com. I'll probably go mountain biking with Zach here one of these times when we're going out to Denver. The LCQ Challenge coming up next Friday. We're lagging a little behind in total sales. We need your help with this. Go to pulpmex.com, click on the story that has the raffle ticket there, $30 a ticket. All the money goes to the privateers. Top 17 in the LCQ points during the year, 5 wild cards. Grand prize, 2024 Yamaha YZ450. Yeah, that's right. You can win a dirt bike, and we got like 19 other prizes. We're going to do the draw on that Monday after Denver Supercross for the bike and for all the prizes. And, again, all the money goes to the privateers, man. So I'm getting hit up right now. I'm getting hit up for wildcard spots, and it's really frustrating.
Hold strong.
I know, right? I like these guys, but what do I do? I don't know.
Tell them to beat it. I don't know.
I'm not going to do that.
Yeah, you can.
All right, we have a Supercross champion, Motocross champion, GP winner, Mini O's winner, Loretta's winner, Ponca winner, Whitney winner, Swan winner, Zach Osborne.
Geez, I feel like you're reaching.
I don't even know if you won all those amateur races. I'm assuming you did, but
Yeah, I think I did.
exactly. I've told the story before, but when I was at KTM in 2000, we were all getting ready for you. We were told Zach Osborne is coming.
Well, you bailed before I got
did.
there. So
I did.
See, that could have changed the course. I would have maybe not had to go to Europe. Steve would have been there to be my mechanic.
Yeah, maybe I could have taken you under my wing like Kelly Smith and done things. So, all right, lots to talk to you about, Zacho. Thank you for joining us. Appreciate it. The LCQ Challenge is coming up in Denver, by the way, and I'm getting hit up by these riders who want to be wild cards, Zach. I'm just going to give them your number. You can just tell them all, except for Joey.
I'm going to tell them all they can race.
Oh, really? Oh, shit. Okay. All right.
Yeah, just do double row start and let them have it.
Oh, boy, that's not good. Okay, I'm not going to give them your number. Okay, so you've been in this situation before with being a points leader and holding on to points leader and trying to win a championship. This weekend in Philly, Vial is 13 up on Hayden with the showdown in Salt Lake. What number of points – now, don't be an idiot and just say 25. What number of points can Vial go into the showdown with and feel okay?
15.
Oh, okay. So I was thinking less than 13, but you're saying he's got to add 2.
I mean, I think 15 is like be like 9th place, right? 8th
Something
or
like
9th
that.
place.
Yep.
Which is, go down in the first turn and you can do that pretty easy. So I think he sleeps okay on Friday night before Salt Lake if he has 15 points.
Okay. All right.
Anything less than that with like literally exactly what we saw over the weekend, it's just not that comfortable.
Right. Okay. Fair enough. Yeah. It'll be interesting to see how he does this weekend. Probably, may get some weather again this weekend. I do feel like Hayden's going to let it fly. Like he's gonna get loose and he's got nothing to lose, right? Like second in the title doesn't really mean much. So I would not be surprised to see Hayden win this weekend, and Tom has to limit some damage.
Yeah, I agree. But Tom looked different from the get-go there, and over the weekend, I think he just knew what he had to do. The start in the heat race, he just come across like it was nobody's business. Like he was there, he meant business. I tweeted that 16 means business. But yeah, he looked a little different. He looked like a little bit more confident, a little bit more authority, like he was there to race.
Mm-hmm. You know what?
I don't know if that's from the McAdoo situation in practice. He knew that he was kind of in a hole and he had to make something happen, which could be. But either way, he looked just a little bit more swaggy.
Yeah, I mean, one thing about Tom, and I'm sure you'll agree, is his starts put him in such a good spot, right? Generally speaking, he doesn't hurt himself with bad starts.
Yeah, that's exactly right. I don't know why, but that recent breed of KTM Euro guys like Tom and Jorge, dude, the starts are just unreal.
Yeah, it should be interesting to see what happens. You've been there with McAdoo in the McAdoo situation, and I can think of the year, the last year you rode 250 Outdoors. In one way, it sucks. It sucks for Cam. His Supercross title, he was leading all of that. Maybe he'll come back for Outdoors, but it sounds pretty serious enough to maybe not be ready for Outdoors, I think. But he's saying maybe. But honestly, Zacho, it's not a bad thing. As I've said in our sport, the only way you get kicked out of that class is by winning, multiple titles. At the age that Cameron is, winning some races and getting hurt resets your whole thing. It's not bad.
It's not bad, but you just hate to see that happen to a guy who's had some injury woes in the past, and was really had been the consistent guy from the get-go this year. So it's just a bummer to see him go down like that. I had a buddy ask me earlier today, like if I felt like that was a bonehead move on his part, which honestly it wasn't a great move. Like I wouldn't, he was not going on a fast lap. Leifel was like, it just was it's a tough situation to watch, honestly. But
I don't really blame either guy, to be honest.
Nah, it's just one of those things. But when you're in that position, you've got to basically eliminate or guard yourself from being in those positions, But lesson learned. I'm sure he'll come back stronger and better, and probably not let that happen ever again.
It's not a bad thing to be super fast and get hurt, Zacho. It's not a bad thing.
Yeah, but that's not what he wants. He wants to win a championship and get to move up,
I know, but when the damage has been done, which it is, you look back on it, there's a silver lining where you keep getting paid because you've won races.
Yeah, I don't disagree with that. I mean, there's guys who have made a career on it, and so are,
Yep, no, for sure. All right, so we saw RJ. Now, obviously, it's East this weekend. I'm going to dive more into East here, but staying with the West, guys, that was quite a tour de performance by Rick. And for as bad as it was for Kitchen, he's only down 2. So, this thing should be great.
Yeah. I feel like the momentum swings a little bit in RJ's direction. Obviously, if they were racing again this weekend, it would be hugely in RJ's direction. But some ribs and, that seems to be the most of Kitchen's injuries, which was super lucky because the one dude that ran him over ran looked like straight over his head.
Yeah.
But yeah, I would say the momentum swings a little bit in RJ's direction. I actually talked to him after the weekend. And I was just like, dude, that was maybe the best I've ever seen you. And he was like, yeah, it was one of those days where, you can just turn it up when you need to and just cruising the rest of the time. And I was like, yeah, there's just no feeling like that those days just, if you would pay so much money if you could bottle up just 10% of that,
Yeah. Yeah. It's like, honestly, it was like Kitchen in the races before. Same thing.
Yeah. Kitchen in Seattle was much the same, just next level.
Right. We're going to Denver. We're going to Salt Lake for the West guys. Hard pack, dry and dusty even. Does it favor one of these two over the other? The soil?
I think it favors Kitchen a little just because he's more of a West Coast guy.
Mm-hmm.
But, I mean, honestly, Nashville was hard as crap.
Yeah, it was. You're right.
And RJ was really good there. I think that dirt's just not that great. And the rain maybe made it even harder just because it just got the right moisture. And, in the main event, the whoops were skimmers, not jumpers, like they were most of practice. So I think RJ is riding hard packed well, and obviously his bike is pretty hard packed set, just with being a West Coast guy and most likely having done most of his testing there. So I think it's pretty 50-50. It just depends on how well Kitchen can get in 2 weeks. That's the biggest piece to me. If Kitchen comes in 90%, I'm going with RJ. If he can get back to 98%, where his ribs are really not bothering him, he doesn't really need to ride right now, he can go into the race pretty fresh. I think he still has a good chance at it.
So flipping back to East this weekend, Philadelphia. Look, McAdoo's exiting the series. I thought Anstey could be better. He hasn't really recaptured that form from earlier on, although he was fastest qualifier in Nashville.
Yeah, but that hasn't really panned into results this year.
No.
Flat out, he's been fastest probably 4 or 5 times.
No, for sure. And Hammaker's back, but now it's hard to see how Seth can, be the guy. My point being, Zacho, is I kind of feel like, and this is going to hurt Hayden, that there's no one else other than these two guys that can really get in the mix. They are, I think, clearly 1 and 2 right now.
Yeah, I think you're exactly right. I don't think that there's a lot to mix it up. Hammaker, like you said, can make. I mean, dude is so fast.
Yeah, he can mix it up. But
he would be good. But even to beat Hayden or whatever, or Tom, it doesn't. Either way, it doesn't really make that much of a difference. It's a difference in 2 or 3 points, not 10 or something like Hayden.
Yes.
Really needs it to be. The only thing is the showdown in Salt Lake.
Maybe we go in and Tom's losing 3 and it's 10 going into Salt Lake.
Yeah, just Tim's just not that comfortable though, honestly.
Right.
I think in 18 I had I don't know, 17 points over Jordan Smith, and I slept pretty good. Got myself a 7th and won by 7 points or something like that. And I was like, dang, that was closer than I thought it was,
Yeah. So I said, going to be interesting to see who grabs that third spot. Like if we assume that these two are looking great, and we'll go 1-2 in some order. Hammaker can, Anstey can, Pierce has been consistent. But yeah, I think it's kind of open, that third spot.
Yeah, and I mean, not that it doesn't matter, but it's not really like going to be that looked at, I think probably Max is the favorite for that, in my opinion.
Right, for sure. Zach Osborne here on the Fly Race and Moto 60 show. Thank you to the folks at 100%. Pulp 30 is the code to save with 100%, and it's on mountain bike gear, it's on sunglasses, it's on casual wear, it's on dirt bike goggles as well. Jet Lawrence, Star Racing guy. Zach Osborne also ran 100% at one point. Are you still wearing 100% right now?
Nope, I don't have any sponsors at the moment.
Okay, all right, so you're open for bidding. Cool. 100%. Pulp 30 is the code to save with those guys, and San Diego-based company. They've been around a long time and doing great things. So Dave Gianolfi was in on Monday, and he's 100% guy. All right, we got phone calls for you, Zacho, on the show. First up is Grayson's on one. What's up, Grayson? What's your question for Zacho?
Hey, I was wondering how they make the choice to switch their training program from Supercross over to outdoors, and how it differs from the 450 guys or the 250 guys making that choice.
You mean like as far as timing goes?
Yeah, like when do they start on the outdoor training?
So it would start probably the first break they had a couple weeks ago. Was it after Easter or before Easter?
Mm-hmm.
So it's normally just kind of based around the breaks in Supercross. And most of the teams will go to kind of one spot, California or Florida or whatever, and just get started testing with the whole crew, 250 and 450. At least that's how it always worked for me. And then after that, like the last 3 or 4 weeks of Supercross, they'll probably ride 1 day of outdoors each week, unless there's something special that they're looking for, like still testing for Supercross, or in a championship situation where they don't want to change anything. They just don't really care about outdoors until the championship that they're trying to win's over. So it varies a little bit. I don't think there's any like set cue or whatever. It just kind of person to person, but for the most part, the teams kind of decide when they start outdoor testing, and then after that, it's just kind of a mixed bag.
Zacho, when you were in title contention in Supercross, and we've seen this over the years, did you want to just stay on Supercross, or were you fine with switching to outdoors?
I was fine with switching to outdoors. It was always kind of just like a freshen up for me.
Yep.
Just a little bit of something different, a little different view. Daytona week was always one of my favorite weeks. Just a different track after riding 4 or 5 months of straight Supercross. A little bit of speed. It always just kind of helped my Supercross program and breathed a little bit of life back into it at the end of the year.
Sure.
A lot of guys, for sure, the 450 schedule is way harder. There's no questions about that. But also the 250 schedule is not easy, because you most of the time would go back to riding 4 days a week in the weeks, and where you're not racing, so it's basically the same amount of riding, but the travel and the 450 schedule is just insane.
Well, one thing for sure is at some point in the outdoors, we will talk to a rider that will tell us, man, I focused on Supercross and I'm not quite ready for outdoors. There will be somebody who says that. It always is.
Yeah, but I mean, at times that's fair. Like, at times,
it's fair. Yeah,
they're trying to get a position for a riser in their contract that get fifth, you get a $200,000 riser, or maybe there's just different goals. Like, it just is what it is. So sometimes you have to make those sacrifices.
Yep. Okay. All right. Nick's on 2. What's up, Nick? How are you, man?
Hey guys. First, Zach, always a pleasure seeing you in any pits. It's been a pleasure, and appreciate it. Okay.
Thanks, brother.
We always talk about conditioning, the guy that's going to be there at the end, racecraft, and speed. Which guys do you think have these attributes, and which one is more difficult to race against? And if there is a top dog with all three, who is it?
Just out of everyone?
Fun question. Yeah.
So to me, like, Jet right now, obviously, is the whole package. Like, that's an easy, low-hanging fruit answer. All of those guys that are on factory bikes in the 450 class, pretty much are that whole package that you just described. It's just whether they hit on their correct setting, something they're super comfortable on. Their body's good. There's so many factors to the question that you just asked. I could probably pick 15 guys, but a lot of that just comes down to timing. Timing's everything, especially in terms of periodization in the training, fitness, bike setup. If you come to A1 and you have a good bike, it may not be a great bike, but if you get a good result, it starts the season on the right foot, and you're suddenly one of those guys. So I think that's an extremely hard question to answer right off the bat. But with that said, I think obviously right now Jet's the whole package. Coop's always the whole package. He's going to be there at the end of the motos. He's good at testing. His racecraft is better than Jet's in my opinion. He's unmatched in the racecraft department. But all those guys in the 450 class that are on factory bikes, they're there for a reason, and those teams know it.
Yeah, they have conditioning, they have racecraft, they have speed, right? They have it all.
Right.
It's not like if you're getting hired to a 450 factory seat, they're never like, hey, can you do this, and this before we hire you? It's like, all right, this is the deal. We're going racing and get the job done, basically.
All right, thanks,
now,
Nick.
If you're a privateer, which one would you have? Which one would you want the most?
Conditioning.
If I was a privateer,
Conditioning.
Yeah.
It'd be a toss-up between conditioning and racecraft, just because it seems like there's more LCQs in that sense for the privateer guys. So you always want to be in the main event, right? But I think that if a privateer can show really good conditioning, I think that's a big piece, because later in the main events, some guys start to fade, and you can make some passes, and maybe that catches the eye of a factory team, and you get yourself a seat.
There you go. Thanks, Nick.
Cool.
Thank you,
Thanks,
man.
Dave.
Appreciate it. Thank you. All right, Patrick has a whoop question. He's on 4. Patrick, what's your whoop question?
Well, let me start off by saying I'm old, I'm fat, I don't race anymore.
Okay.
I haven't hit a set of whoops in 20 years.
Okay.
But when I see the 9 whoops in Supercross now, I used to love watching guys like Tomac. I love watching even the 250 guys just blitz these whoops, and now we got these 9 whoops. I know they're jumping them and that type of stuff, and I always was bummed out when we started getting the jumped out whoops and that type of stuff. But I say that because we have 9 whoops now constantly, and my thought process is, okay, so we haven't seen the numbers on these accidents over 9. Well, let's think about this. What bikes are having the issues over 9? Is it KTM or Husqvarna? Now, Huskies are pretty good in the whoops from what I can tell. But you would think by now that information would be broadcasted so that people would be able to see why they went down that direction.
Okay.
So I guess my thought process is this. My thought process is it really a problem, or is it, and I don't want to have the tinfoil hat on because I know it sounds like I got a tinfoil hat on, but is it really a big of a problem as it seems, considering this past week we've lost multiple riders?
Well, that's what they want to see, right? That's what they want to see and track and see what happens. I don't know. Yeah. I know I think they made a big mistake in not coming forward at beginning of the year and calling these guys up and saying, hey, this is what we want to do. This is why we're doing it. What do you guys think? Blah, blah, blah. I've heard one of the guys that suggested cutting 9 whoops was Roger DeCoster. Well, guess what? Guess whose bikes, like you said, aren't great in the whoops? Roger D's bikes. So look, it's not a conspiracy. I'm not putting my tinfoil hat on, but yes, I think we should be a little smarter about these changes before we make them. Because it's hurt the racing. It's hurt the racing, without a doubt.
It definitely, and like for me, like my son, he's riding, and he's like, Dad, when he notices at 12 years old, he's getting a little bit more competitive, and he's like, well, man, I always thought the whoops were so cool, and it seems like it's kind of taken away, and you can't help but think that one of the most important aspects of a Supercross dress is, for me, back when I rode, it really separated people.
Still
and that
does,
is, you can't help but think it's kind of brought people together. It's even the same idea with the starting maps and the start devices and the grates. It starts to kind of control the racing a little bit differently.
Yep. Thanks for the call, man. Thanks, Patrick. Good points.
Yeah, no problem.
Thank you. He's right, Zacho, a little bit.
Yeah. I don't, before something big like that goes down, I definitely I agree with Eli from the show a couple weeks ago. Like, they should sit a bunch of guys down at the top and be like, look, this is our plan. You know, I specifically remember seeing a couple of years ago in 2021, right before I got hurt, at Supercross, because during COVID we were doing sometimes like 2 practice sessions or the normal mud race sessions.
Mm-hmm.
And we were like, hey, you know, it was actually me, I think Jason, AC, and I want to say Eli was standing there, me, Mike Pelletier, and I think John was still there at the time, Gallagher.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And we were like, hey, like, you know, what's the chances of doing 2 sessions instead of 3? Like, we do 2 12-minute sessions or something. Like, the 3 just drags the day so long. And they were like, well, we just can't do that because of, I don't remember, like timing and scoring, possible problems or track changes. And I'm like, yeah, but how often does that stuff happen? Like, I'm sure we can address it on the fly if it happens, right? Mm-hmm. But yeah, there was just no budging there. But definitely there needs to be some sort of, let's say,
I mean, even if you added a 10th whoop in, it would change a lot of things, you know?
It would. It changes the rhythm. The jump in 3-3-3 thing is so easy. And like, guys who've never jumped loops before are doing it now, you know?
Yeah.
So it made it even, I mean, it favors jumping now, if you ask me, unless there's some scenario where they're really fast into them, the jumping is the way to go.
Yep. All right. Next question from Briggs on 3. What's up, Briggs? What's your question, man?
Not much, guys. Getting excited for Supercross in like 10 years. Bringing my 3 daughters this Saturday.
That's nice. Do you live around Philly then? Is that why you're going?
Actually, no. We're in Western New York. We're Rochester, but gonna drive the motorhome down Friday night and go check it out. Hey, question about Evan Ferry. Obviously, there's some vacant rides with McAdoo being out, stuff like that. I see he's riding a Kawasaki and a Stark. You think he pulls up a ride for either Star or Pro Circuit on a fill-in?
No, I don't. And look, obviously I'm a fan of Evan Ferry and Tim Ferry, right? But why would you hire Evan? He won the LCQ and he hit the wall in his only Supercross, and he wasn't that fast in practice or anything. So, like, no, I don't think you would hire an Evan Ferry for a fill-in at all. He has to come out and be ready and show everybody what he's got, you know? So
yeah, I guess just his dad being Tim, and then obviously Mitch, and maybe him being a fast am, and you get him for free essentially, or give him bikes and stuff.
You definitely would get him for free, but I don't see it, Osborne. What do you think, Zacho?
No, I agree. There's not enough like history to show that it's kind of there. The potential's there. I mean, I know he's a great rider. I think he has good potential, but maybe just needs some more development. Obviously, with what the program that he was on, he wasn't racing very much, so maybe just some racing and come back next year.
He lost, a year of racing basically, waiting for Triumph. He kind of did Loretta's, he did a little stuff, but like it wasn't a great end of things for. Look, he signed the contract. I'm not blaming Triumph. He signed the deal, but he needs to race because he got hurt before that. So, thanks, Briggs. Thank you, man.
Hey, one more thing. With this starting at 3, the race time starts at 3:00 this weekend. What times everything start? Like as far as practice and everything, it's got to be way earlier, right?
8 a.m. is practice.
Okay, cool. You guys have a good show.
Thank you, man. Appreciate it. Thank you. All right, I got a question about Deegan. You ready, Zacho?
Yeah.
All right, Peter. What's your question for Zach?
So this is applicable to Zach a little bit, but
okay.
First, does the AMA give a little bit more leeway to dirty riding when it's a championship is kind of up for grabs in the late stages? And did Zacho ever consider if he was going to get docked points when he took out Savacci? And did that go through his mind after he did it at all, if he was worried about that?
I don't think they're any more lenient ever. They weren't on me anyways. It definitely went through my mind later in the night, not as we were celebrating on the track or standing on the podium, but I wasn't sure what the process was. One thing that was kind of unique on my situation was I was on probation, and the set out fine on my probation was $2,500 deducted and then or suspended. so like I was fined $2,500. AC was fined $2,500 on the spot, but the fine was suspended unless we broke the probation. Then the fine doubled and accrued the other $2,500. That's how they got to $7,500 on the night in Vegas. So I didn't really realize, but in a sense, my punishment was kind of preset, I guess you would say. Looking back now, like, of course, they could have done whatever they wanted, really. But, I mean, at one point, whenever we went to the AMA trailer that night, I was like, yeah, there's no shot I'm leaving here, like, as a champion. It's going to be somebody else because they were that heated about it.
Right. Yeah. Interesting.
Okay.
All right. Thanks for the question. Hey, do you want a pair of 100% goggles or a Fly Racing 5-point pivot knee guard?
The knee guard would be great.
All right.
I appreciate it.
All right. Stay on hold. All right. We'll get you that. Good question. I like how he goes, this is applicable to Zach, and then he starts talking about dirty riding.
No, it's just because he was slow, Steve.
I know. Yeah, exactly. What's up, David? How are you? You got a Ferrandis question?
Yeah, I sure do, Steve. Thanks for taking my call. First off, I want to thank you for all you do for privateers. The race every year is exciting, and I think it's great. I just think it's great for what you do to the privateers.
Thank you. Yes, buy a raffle ticket, please. Help us out.
Oh, I do every year.
Okay,
every
perfect.
year I
Thank
buy.
you.
Never won anything, but every year I buy one.
Well,
That's okay.
Blame Travis for
Good
that.
support.
Yeah.
I'll definitely blame Travis.
Okay. Yep.
Hey, so any word on Ferrandis, or we got a Blake Baggett situation going on?
No,
here?
he's back this weekend. Yeah.
Oh, he's back this weekend.
I had heard that he was not coming back to the outdoors from a pretty good source, and then find out on social media he's coming back this weekend.
Oh,
so,
okay.
There we go.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right, David.
Problem solved.
Thanks, man.
All right, thank
Appreciate
you.
it. Thank you.
See you.
Zach Osborne here on the Fly Racing Moto 60 show. All right, Zacho, it's that time. Give me your winners for this weekend in Philadelphia.
I haven't looked at the forecast. What do we got?
It's gonna be. You know what? I think it changed a little bit, but I heard some rain, but not a downpouring.
I'm gonna go with Vial, and I think that this is gonna seal the deal for him, like in terms of pressure.
Yep.
And the 18 was just ridiculous last weekend.
Yeah.
So we're probably gonna pick him.
All right, that's it's boring, but it's fine.
I mean, it's boring. Yeah, I know it's
Yep.
not a hot take, and
Right.
I'm not really branching out. But dude, I mean, like, fifth place start, whatever, wins by 8 seconds over the best dudes in business. It was pretty impressive.
Yes, especially early on when there was like no panic and they were pulling him, and he was like, okay,
Yeah.
like no problem, right?
Yeah, no biggie. I'm gonna win this race by 10 seconds. No big deal.
Hey, before we let you go too, by the way, there was some talk on social about Eli not pulling over for Coop for the points, and I just had to laugh at that.
No, like, come on. That's. I mean, I think that it's just not. Gonna happen.
You know Eli well.
No, there's no way it's gonna happen.
There we go.
I mean, fair play. Like, he's just a freaking racer, honestly.
Yeah, no, for sure. All right, buddy. Thank you for the time for the Fly Racing Moto 60 show, and we'll talk next week. Thanks, man. Thanks, guy.
Yep. Later.
All right, see you later. That's Zach Osborne, everybody. Thank you to the folks at Maxxis Tires. Maxxis Tires, great mountain bike tires, off-road truck tires, trailer tires, and of course, mountain bike tires are great. And then you look at Kay Clayson, Freddie Norn, and others putting Maxxis Tires into main events. And please check them out, man. Jeremy McGrath helped develop them, so you know that they work pretty damn well. I want to thank the folks at Zool's as well. We all need a bag at some point in our lives, right? Zool's has you covered with backpacks, travel, roller bags, gear bags, and more. ZoolsBagCo.com, ZULZBagCo.com. Use Pulp24 code to save. Travis Pastrana, Triumph, Ford Performance, and more using Zool's bags. So appreciate those guys coming on, and they make great bags. They got a background in the luggage industry. So ZULZBagCo.com for more information on that. So thanks to the folks at Zool's for coming on board. Let's take a call here. It is Steve has a JT rant. Oh, I'm in for this. What's up, Steve? What's your JT rant?
Hey, Steve, dude, thanks for taking my call, man.
Yeah, no worries.
Dude, JT.
What? What's the problem?
Look, the guy he's an ex-racer. Like, I appreciate everything he says. He's smart, right? You agree? Like, he's smart. But my goodness, he's got to stop apologizing for everything he says. He'll say, I told Mac he was really good this weekend, or whatever, and then that's just my opinion. That's just my opinion. You don't have to like it. Yeah, I know, man. Like,
Okay.
I know that's your opinion. That's why I'm listening to you.
Yeah.
So that I can hear your opinion. You don't have to defend it, man. Come on.
So JT's my friend. He does a great job, as we know. And I actually texted him that a few months ago, and I feel he's been better. Because
until you listen to the industry seating podcast.
Oh, okay. So I don't listen, but I told him, because he would say something and he'd be like, "Look, I don't care if he wins or gets lost. It doesn't matter to me." And I said, "Yeah, it doesn't matter to me or Weege or any of us. I think the listener should assume that a rider's performance doesn't matter to us. We just talk about it." So.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And I'm a huge Tomac fan. Like he is by far, he's just such a legend and just such a beast, when he puts that head down in the corner and just full throttle, it's just so amazing. And then for him to turn around and just argue with you on something that's just so dumb, like what he was saying, with the Roxon thing a couple weeks ago when he had the start from the outside. He had a good start from the outside. And he was trying to argue with you that it was that's where the guys from the LCQ, they get, it's around the outside. Dude, that's the worst gate pick you can possibly have. And he still had executed an amazing start, and he wants to argue with you. I'm like, my goodness. I like you, JT. You got a great point, but sometimes you just go too far.
I'm sure I've gone too far too, right? So it happens. That one I don't get. I don't get that one at all. And I
think you just back it up better without so much emotion,
Maybe.
But hey, and one other thing, if
Yes.
I have time, Tomac, you've been mentioning a little bit about him possibly doing outdoors. What is the percentage pie of him actually doing that?
I think pretty high, man. I would say 70%. I think he's waiting on a contract, and they're trying to work some details out. But I think he's in. Yeah, I do. I would bet he's in.
Man, I hope so. And just one last thing. Hey, don't ever quit. I love your podcast. I listen to you every single one. And every time you talk about how you don't want to do this anymore, it just breaks my heart, man. Don't ever die. Don't ever quit.
All right. Thanks, Steven. Appreciate it. Thank you, buddy.
Appreciate
it. He said, don't ever die. He said, don't ever die.
Don't die, Steve.
Don't ever die. I'll try not to die. Daniel Blair, what's up, buddy?
Wow, that was a weird end to that call, man. Don't die.
Don't die, man. I'll try not to. So
it was awesome. It was going so great, and then that was funny. It was a good call, though. He's passionate. Tomac fan.
Big Tomac fan, and he's right about JT. I actually texted JT, like I said a few months ago, and I'm like, dude, stop couching everything that it doesn't matter to you and you don't care. It doesn't matter to me or Weege or Daniel. We're just talking about the sport we love. I think the listener has it. So
yeah, I picked up what he was meaning too a little bit. JT is humble. He'll throw it out there and he believes in the things that he says, but I know he's also a humble person, so he's not very so he always kind of plays it a little bit softer, and I think that's part of his personality. I don't mind that in him, but I could see people being like, oh, he's too nice, too humble. I can get on board with that.
Yeah, sure, why not? All right, Daniel Blair, her main event, Moto, Orange Brigade, all of that. All right, let's get started. I asked Zach this question. And were you listening?
No.
Good. I asked Zach, Vial has 13 points on Deegs. What does he need to leave Philly with to feel comfortable, point-wise? What does he need to have? What?
Against Hayden Deegan? 25.
Okay, so that was I told Osborne you can't say 25.
Oh, okay. I was going to say, man, I mean, the Deegans, man, this is going to be an intense couple of weeks for Tommy. So, yeah, 25 would be the safe bet. But so what you just want to know how safe, where he needs to be to go into the showdown.
Yeah, and Osborne said 15. 2 points. He puts 2 points on him this weekend. Yeah.
So needs to beat him this weekend.
Yeah.
And open it up. I mean, I feel like the field's been beat up a little bit. So there's not as many, guys that even on the west side's been beat up a little bit. So to me, it's 25, 22, 20, 18, 70. I'd probably say 9 because that would be a fifth. I think he would have the tiebreaker. Oh, no, he wouldn't. Shit, 10. We'll go 10. He needs 10.
Yeah, so and that leads me – you touched on my next question was, with no Cam, Pierce has been good, not great. Hammaker's got to be beat up. Anstey has been fast but not able to pull through outside of the opener. Like, who does challenge these two? I don't see anybody. I see them going 1-2 in some order.
Yeah, that's a safe bet. Cam would have been obviously the other one. Even if he was banged up, McAdoo still can pull things. But without him there, I mean, the 250 class kind of allows for weirdness to kind of inject itself. But, yeah, in a straight up, I mean, if you were to run it 10 times in a row, they're going to go 1-2 probably 8 of 10 times. So I'm with you. There's not a lot of help out there anymore as far as, like, making it all chaotic and crazy, which is what the 250 class is. So it ends up looking a lot more one-on-one, but, I mean, you catch the right guy on the right day. I mean, who knows what the stadium is? I don't know. Do you know? Like, is it a big floor? Is it a small floor? I don't
It's a football
know
stadium.
yet.
Yeah, it's football, so whatever.
Oh, by the way, the most pathetic team in the NFL plays in that building. Just want to point that out.
All right,
that
fair
the
enough.
Eagles,
Yeah.
yes. And if any of you listening are Eagles fans, I'm sorry.
I
just want to point that out.
I thought Cowboy fans didn't like the Giants.
Oh, we don't like them either, but I really hate the Eagles. It's Eagles first, then Giants, then Niners, then Commanders, as far as hate goes.
Fair enough. Got it.
So, but no, I know what you're saying. It looks more like a one-on-one. And
It does, yeah.
know if that, but that doesn't help Deegan as far as like having guys in the way. But dude, I'm just thinking it's going to get weird, man. Like I wasn't there for all the amateur days, like, but I know it was tense and it was weird. So I just don't see Vial having a clean go, even if one-on-one could be worse for him, maybe. You know what I mean? I mean, you'd love to get a whole shot and have Hayden start in fifth and have a bunch of good guys in between. But if they start 1-2, then Hayden's going to have I think a playground to play on, and I think he's willing to probably get weird. He's going to have to be honest.
I think there's a 75% chance he gets behind him in practice and does something weird.
Oh yeah, oh yeah.
Oh, yeah,
I mean, he's Cooper Webb's teammate. Cooper's probably like, hey man, I'll tell you what to do. You got to start right next to him on the gate. You got to cuss at him right before gate drop. You got to get right behind him on press day. Like, use the Cooper playbook and just see if it does something. But Tom's pretty mature, experienced. I mean, he might be new to Supercross, but he's not new to racing and winning. So I don't think he's going to be as fazed by it as maybe a younger rider would.
Yep.
He's pretty mature, man.
What about the daytime race? Do you like them? Do you think they're cool? How are you as a fan with daytime races?
I think it's if you're there or not. Like, if I'm there, I want to go early because it's good to get out of there early and kind of feel like you have your night a little bit. But being a fan, I kind of don't like it as much because it's like I have things I could do on Saturday, but now I'm going to sit home and watch the race where I love Saturday nights. Saturday nights are fun to sit down and wait for it to come on. I've enjoyed that this year when it's lined up. So for me, I'm probably wishing it was at night, but I feel for everyone there, it's an easy day race is the option. I loved them in the day when I was working there.
Yeah, exactly, right.
You going this weekend?
Yeah. I missed one race, and all of a sudden I get all this. Yeah, I get all this. Are you going this weekend? Yeah, I'm going.
I'll make sure.
Hey,
what do you think? Day or night?
Some good and bad about both. So whatever. Yeah, I'm on either one.
I'm not passionate about either.
No,
one,
I'm not either. Exactly. Hey, it looks like the Anstey to Star thing is done and gonna happen.
Really?
What do you think about him making his return to Star?
Wow. I mean, I guess the simple math for me is you're going from a privateer Honda team that has obviously done an incredible job. I mean, they would not have had any of the success that they had without good people, a lot of good work, a lot of investment. But if we're being honest, I mean, just compare the two machines. I don't think it's going to be very close. So, and it doesn't really change too much of the environment, right? Because he rides with all those guys all the time. So, in all reality, you're taking a really good, mature vet who's really got it together pretty good, and then giving him a lethal weapon, man. So, to me, he's only going to be better. The one thing I will say, though, and this has been something I've noticed lately, and I think you'll back me up because we've kind of watched this happen. These Star Yamahas are obviously fast. Like, they rip. They're unbelievable powers, but they don't get all the good starts. They kind of struggle a little bit off the pad. I think they're a little bit too powerful sometimes. So for Max, you're probably going to have some help here in the power department, but it doesn't guarantee like the starts are going to be better because I don't think anyone in the Star Yamaha is just banging all their starts. It's a little hot and cold because those bikes are so fast. So yes, it'll be a lot better for him in so many obvious ways, but it's not like a guaranteed fix like he's the guy now. There's still things he's going to have to overcome, even on that bike.
Fly Racing Moto 60 show. Please check them out, flyracing.com. Daniel Blair, you got a bike. You are back. Are you Fly Racing rider?
Fly Racing, head to toe.
And is this causing problems?
No.
Oh.
I have Fox boots. I wear Fox boots.
Stop it. No, you don't.
That's all I have, and I have bad feet, and they fit my feet good, and I accidentally put a photo up. I got destroyed on Instagram, so I already got through it. So now I just wear the Fox boots with the fly gear, and I don't care.
I know you got bad feet.
Good.
There's got to be like Tech 10s though, maybe the best for feet. Like
you can't do that, dude.
No, I like the Tech 7s, but I was offered a free pair. They haven't showed up in 2 years, so I'm borrowing Foxes that I stole from somebody, like the ramp. And I never gave them back, and so I just wear Fox boots.
Okay, all right. Well, fly racing rider Daniel Blair on the line here. Thanks to the folks at Get and Athena, ECUs, doing a great job with the Honda HRC guys, obviously. And then, like Dan Truman said last week on the show, the fuel-injected 2-strokes of KTMs badly need the Get CDI boxes to help them out. So please check out the Get stuff for that. And if you want a discount from Get and Athena, email us using the contact form on PulpMX, and we'll pass it on to you guys. All right, question on one for Daniel, just in general. Is this Cody?
Yeah, hello.
What's up, Cody?
Hey, how's it going? I
Good.
just had a quick idea.
Yeah.
With all the data coming up about the 9 whoops and the Dragon's backs, do they have any data on how many guys have been hurt by tough blocks?
Yeah, I think they got the data. It's 8 million.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's kind of what I was thinking.
Right.
Yeah, they preach safety, but when it comes to
No, nothing we can do. Nothing we can do, Cody.
money or sponsorships, but no, I had an idea. Why don't they just use a 3-inch thick or 4-inch thick like gym mat? Like a.
Okay, well, it's got to be
You could
bigger
still
than that.
have the logo. You'd still get the bird's eye view from the sponsorship.
I guess.
You can make them as wide or as long as you want, but they can be run over and they're fine,
Yeah, I don't know. I don't like that idea. It's got to be bigger than that.
Yeah, they just never went away from the hay bale style,
right?
Big rectangle tough blocks.
I've already given the solution. I came up with the nets, Cody, and I've come up with a tough box solution, and they just refuse to do it. But it's little tiny trays.
Yeah.
It's trays.
Yeah, it's funny how Aaron Plessinger just went out hitting a tough block, and like you said, nothing we can do.
Nothing we can do, Cody. All right, thanks, buddy. Appreciate it. Thank you.
Yep. Bye.
I mean, Daniel, you raced. I'm sure a tough block killed you at some point. Like, well, I don't know. They don't seem to care about the tough blocks getting strewn about the track. And yes, they save you. Maybe 10% of the time you land on a tough block and you're saved, but 90% of the time you die.
So I'm with you. And overall, I think they're a little bit. They could be a menace, and there could be improvement there. I'm completely with you. But I will say, in my career as a somewhat struggling rider in the whoops, whenever I'd start getting wild in the whoops, I'd look for them and aim for them, so I had something to land on. And I'm not lying. I did that multiple times where it's like, we're going, and I'm going. There's the one. I'm going to put myself on that one. So I've used them as a benefit in the past, but from this side of it now, obviously, I don't like them either. But I think it's funny, though, is how dudes always say hay bale still, like in interviews.
Yeah.
I hit a hay bale.
Yeah.
It's like, dude, there's been no hay bales in decades.
They still say I ride the lights class. It's like the lights class.
Yeah.
It's still out there. So I don't know, man. There's just got to be a better way. Like we've seen in Europe, they have 10-foot long inflatable tough blocks, and those are a hell of a lot harder to move than a regular tough block, and you can deflate them and carry them easy in a semi, and just get those. I don't know. It's just
I don't hate it.
Yeah.
I don't hate it.
Hey, let's go to 450 class real quick. Daniel Blair here on the Fly Racing Moto 60 show. That was a clinic by the 18. It was like, hey, everybody, I lost 3 in a row, and oh, look, Coop, we're tied. Oh, that's cute. Watch this. That was a clinic.
Yeah, the whole day, really. And you know who knew it the most was Webb. He said it in the press conference that Jet had a point to prove, and I mean he'd lost a bunch in a row. So I think they were just probably put the extra focus on, just tightened up all the bolts to make sure he not only stopped the bad trend, but also he needed to get that points lead back. And we're at the point now where the math really does come to play. Every single point's going to play a role from here on out. And he can't be in a position where he's going up against Cooper with a chance. You don't want that. So he kind of has to win and put a little bit of a cushion in this thing. So even this weekend, I feel like this weekend's even more pressuring for Jet than last, because if you can get it to 10 somehow, like say he wins again, Cooper's third, fourth, whatever, you could go to 10 to 12. You've got Webb in a desperate spot and Jet's in a not desperate spot, and that's really good for Jet and not good for Webb. So in reality, he needed to stop the bleeding last week, but this one is the one that I think really plays a role in the championship because then Jet has room to breathe, and he's better when he can breathe. So I think he really, really has to win this one just to take that pressure off and kind of deflate Cooper's chances there a little bit. Because if Cooper believes and if he's got a shot at it mathematically, you don't want that. You don't want to be around that guy when he's believing. So to me, I think Jet needs to put one on him this weekend.
We got softer dirt this weekend and a big sand section also, and maybe some ruts and stuff. But I wrote this in my column. The last two races, Denver, Salt Lake, we've been there a bunch before. I think those really hurt Coop for racecraft, for type of dirt, quality of soil, all of that. I don't know if it's Jet's strong, but it's definitely, I think, Coop's weaker dirt. Do you agree?
Yeah, and different guys at different times can be good on different types of soil. I know that with the KTM years when Webb was there, they had the old model was good in some soil and was not as good. I know it's been better on the hard pack. So you can kind of, I guess you could kind of Band-Aid it sometimes here and there, but the overall trend with Webb has been like soft, really tight corners, bottom of the berm, cupped out, slow the mile per hour down. But he could be good there too. Remember, he won that final round that year that he had to win the championship, and he smoked them all too. So he's good there, but you're right. It's not like it's his wheelhouse, where I think the soft stuff creates more problems, and he's better in that. So, yeah, I'm with you. It's not a killer for him, but it ain't going to help him. That's for sure.
Still looking to give away a pair of 100% goggles. Third caller at 702-586-7857. Third caller. We're going to wake the guy up in the corner there. Get a pair of 100% goggles from the folks there. I want to thank the folks at Seat Concepts, seatconcepts.com. Saving asses since 2009. Pulpamex 24 is a code to save. On-road and off-road seats, stylish replacement covers to complete seats, various height and width profiles. Each seat incorporates proprietary foam formulation. Pulpamex 24 at seatconcepts.com. On- and off-road stuff. This is the one that you guys want to check out. So use that code and save. Zools, Maxxis, Vertex Pistons, Get, Plum Creek Funding, 100%. Decal Works all on board with us as well. And thanks to the folks at Vertex Pistons, allballsracinggroup.com, premier pistons out there for aftermarket uses, and whether it's ATVs, UTVs, dirt bikes, more of it, they got it all. And thanks to the folks at Vertex, the member of All Balls Racing Group. Daniel Blair on the line. Daniel, so we talked going into the dirt for Denver and Salt Lake. As bad as it is for Webb, as good as it is for Jet, it's really good for Eli Tomac. I think he wins one of the last two.
Oh, I do too.
Yeah,
I wanted
maybe
to
both,
win Denver
but
so bad.
Yeah.
Like just purely as a fan of the sport, just a hardcore fan, there would be nothing cooler than Eli Tomac in that same stadium, man, that stadium of all places, to go and put a win on the board. It would be so rad, and I'm here for it. And, you know, I try to not be a fan of a guy each night. Like, I always like the guy behind in points to win, to kind of keep things tight, but I genuinely don't have the guy. But I'm all in on Denver Eli. Like, I will be a full fan. I'll probably put 3 on my chest. Like, I want him to win there for multiple reasons, just the moment and a little bit of vengeance. So, yeah, full fandom for Eli at Denver. And I agree with you. I think he's going to get it there, and maybe Salt Lake too.
Yeah.
Which would be pretty rad to end with 2, which makes it seem odd if he was to walk away, right? Are we getting into those discussions now? Like, this
I don't think. Going? No, I think he's going, man. I think he's doing outdoors. And I think he's back next year. I've heard through the grapevine he's been asking people about next year. So,
wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's rad. I mean, it's honorable, and I feel like, I mean, do you agree that he can kind of write his own ticket a little bit now? Like, what do you want to do? And within reason, we'll do it. You know what I mean? As far as what he wants to do career-wise. I don't think they're going to put him in a spot, well, you got to tell us that. I think they're willing to, like, let him choose from here on out what he wants to do.
The only thing I wonder about is, so I know that Coop took lower money this year, and he's got a lot more money coming next year because of they assumed Eli would be one more year. So Webb's salary is pretty high next year. Can Yamaha, and Yamaha's in charge of the 450 team, right? They pay the salaries and everything else. Yamaha/Monster step up enough for Eli to race next year, or, you know, does Coop take most of that budget and they just say, hey, man, we didn't think you were racing? I would think you find room for Eli Tomac. You find it, you make it happen, but it is an interesting thing behind the scenes. So
that is true. I mean, I didn't know that dynamic. So essentially, Webb took some number 2 money, and then now he's going to try to get that number 1 money, which he deserves. I mean, look where he's at in points.
Yeah. And if he wins
Eli
the title,
again.
if he wins the title, he gets a kicker anyways. So.
Oh yeah. So that makes sense. And I mean, but I think it's one of those things where you have to make it work. But I also don't feel like Eli would be coming back for the money. It wouldn't be like the holdup is the money. I feel like with him, it's more the passion. What do you want to do? Do you want to race? Do you want to still be in the battle and in the grind? And if he does, then I don't think it's going to be held up by money unless it was astronomical. Like, I mean, unless he wanted something and they were like, here's some 250 level money because it's all we got, then it's like, yeah, right.
Right.
But I don't think he's going there to break the bank. I mean, he's already broke the bank. If he's racing, it's because he's passionate and he wants to race. So.
Right. All right. Before we let you go here on the Fly Racing Moto 60 show, I mean, we got to get your reaction to the biggest news that happened before Nashville, and it's Phil Nicoletti announcing that he's hanging it up at the end of the year. What did after you wiped away the tears, after you collected yourself from the social media post? What's some of the reactions you had?
What's crazy is I've been in this really weird space with Phil, just in my own thinking now for a while, which was, dude, I respect you so much. It's so honorable that you're still out there putting yourself through this. He's still getting better. He's still having these races up front. So it's been a lot of admiration, but I've also been like, man, he's had a couple of injuries in the last few years in Death Cross of all things. And I've been kind of like, man, I want this to go well, but I also kind of didn't feel comfortable with him still being out there getting hurt back-to-back seasons. So I was almost relieved to hear this, because if he feels like he's ready for the closure, then I'm happy and I'm glad he is, because he is at an age where these injuries are different. They hurt more. You recover slower. And I don't want to see my friend get hurt anymore. And Supercross brings that on the very best of the best, let alone somebody who's in their mid to late 30s. So for me, if he has the closure and this is for real and he feels good about it, then I'm so happy for him. I just don't want to hear him like in November, all of a sudden, next thing you know, is he's riding, look at this video. And then, you know what I mean? Like, we see that. So I hope he's for real and he walks out with his head held high, because he deserves to. So
Yeah. But for the record, can we talk about how he's not retiring? He's quitting.
Oh, yeah, I'm with you.
Yeah,
I'm with
he's
you.
quitting.
It's harsh. I mean, you're definitely being harsh, and it's a little rude. But yes, he's a quitter, not a retirer.
Right, he's quitting. So as long as we know that, we get that. All right, Daniel, give me your winners for this weekend in Philly, please.
Oh man, let's see. We'll go Hayden Deegan.
Okay.
Jet Lawrence. I mean, I know that sucks to say, but I'm going with the stars, man. I think that elite athletes have the ability to pull things elite in big moments, and Hayden needs it bad, and Jet needs it too. Of course, Cooper does, but Jet needs this win for some comfort in these points. So I feel like the two, in my opinion, elite guys are going to be elite this weekend.
Yeah, I don't disagree. Thank you, buddy. You're coming to Denver?
I'm not now. I told you.
That's right.
I got family. I got to go home visit family.
You did tell me that. Yes, right. Okay. All right. Well, Salt Lake?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Like Futures. Futures.
Oh, Futures. Who can forget? I hope the Futures winner of the title gets to race Supercross the next year, but maybe not. I don't know. All right, buddy. Thanks for the time, Daniel. Appreciate it. Main Event Moto, Orange Brigade, all of that. Appreciate it. Thank you.
Anytime, bro. Talk to you soon.
See ya. That's Daniel Blair, everybody, on the Fly Racing Moto 60 show. Marks, the odds are up for Philly for Bet Online.
Oh, they are?
They are listed.
Okay. I'm gonna go put my bets. I made some money on RJ last weekend.
Oh, you did?
Yeah.
What'd you put in though?
I put $5 on RJ.
Oh, $5. Yeah.
Big baller.
I had a guy DM me that he bet RJ. No, what was the week before? It was Coop and.
Was that the Deegan one?
Yeah, it was Coop and Deegan.
Yeah.
And Deegan was a high odds. Remember?
Deegan was high at the start.
The guy DM'd me that he got both, and I was like, "That's ballsy."
Unbelievable.
Yeah, but he only put $10 or something on each.
Well,
so,
I mean, even still, I think max bet was pretty low, but
yeah.
It's fun.
All right, Bet Online, everybody, check it out. Tits, great job.
Yeah, man, thank you.
Great work.
Yep.
Travis,
that's what I'm talking about.
Travis, good job, Travis.
Hey, thanks.
All right, Fly Racing Moto 60 show. Decal Works, 100% Get. Plum Creek Funding, Vertex Pistons, Maxxis Tires, Zool Seat Concepts, all on board with us. Thanks to Daniel Blair. Thanks to Zach Osborne. Thank you to you people for calling in. Same time, same place next week. See you next week.